Let's see, is it recording? I think so. Yes. Okay. Hey everybody, David Shapiro here. We are back after a brief outage. OpenAI had a little bit of a glitch with their fine tuning endpoint. It was down for about a day or so. Anyways, yeah. So here we are. We are ready to get back in the saddle. All right. So about a week ago, I made a video about the Tutor education chatbot, and in that one, all I did was I focused on just teaching topics, which GPT-3 can do that on its own. You can just go and ask it questions on the playground, it'll answer them. That's not a big deal, so there's not much value add there. But in that video, I talked about how teachers, librarians, counselors, educators of all types have a really tough job because often, students or pupils or clients or whatever, they have problems that have nothing to do with learning. They might show up and they might be hungry. They might be stressed out because of the bad home life, or if they live in a poor area, there might be crime or whatever it is. And I've also mentioned that I used to date a teacher, and one of the hardest things that she talked about was getting children to be engaged who gave up, and see it all the time. I read a book called The Genius Myth by Michael Mead. I think I've got that right. Where he worked with underprivileged children for many years, and so his whole thing is you got to spark that genius that's in everyone, whatever it is that they're passionate about. So before I dive into all the code and the data and stuff, I just want to show you what I mean. So in this case, I'm pretending to be a user who's like a bored kid who doesn't care. It's all lowercase, misspelling, whatever. User, I don't know, play video games, watch TV. Okay. And so what you can see here is Tim says, that sounds like a really tough position to be in. I'm curious, what do you enjoy doing? So this is perfect. I included training data that taught GPT-3 to respond this way. So it's compassionate listening, but it's also curiosity, because by investigating, so I use that word investigate. So an educator is also an investigator, and also a validator, right? So this is the compassionate part where that's a really tough position to be in. That's saying, I hear you. I hear that this sucks. I'm curious though. What do you enjoy doing? And so you see here where this is expert. I couldn't perform this well in real life, even though I know the technique. Okay, that's a start. Are there any particular games or shows that you like? User, I play Call of Duty with I know that I'm like out of date. I'm dating myself because I used to play Call of Duty like 10 years ago with my friends. I don't know what kids are playing these days. What is it, Fortnite, or is that one done? Minecraft. Tim, let's see. Whoops. Tim says, that sounds like fun. What about other games or shows? What are your other interests? So here we're going to pretend like we're super adversarial, because this is a kid who's super checked out. And fuck you with these mind games. Let's see what he says. Tim has short-circuited. Come on. See, this is a weird thing. Yeah, it unloaded the model even though I had just been using it. Let me remove that extra Tim. So let's just see what it does, and then we'll jump into the code. There we go. I'm sorry, just trying to show you. Okay, here we go. Perfect. I don't know why it's adding that extra Tim though. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand you better. I don't mean to be intrusive, but it sounds like you're really stuck right now. Oh man, this is perfect. So you get this angry rejection. And it's like, okay, well, like, I think you're stuck right now, and I think understanding your interests can be really helpful in figuring out what to do next. So please tell me more about things what you like to do. That's a little bit too insistent, but like by acknowledging, the feelings, like this is demonstrating that GPT-3 has theory of mind. But yeah, it's also weird that it's doing this double Tim thing. So, anyways. Okay, I think this is good enough. This is a strong enough understanding. Like this is what a professional counselor, therapist, special ed teacher, any good teacher or librarian might do. And it has the mission of let's figure out what's going on with you. Okay, how did we do this? That is why we're here. That is the question of the hour. Yes, here's the code. Let me show you. All right, Tutor chatbot. This is the repo. It should all be up to date. Git status, git add, git commit am, updating. That's whatever. If I ever criticize someone for bad Git messages, I'm pretty sure any developer just cringed when they saw a single word commit message. Anyways, laughing at myself. All right, back to the real stuff. So, quick recap. There's only 3 scripts here. There's synthesize convos, format training data, and fine tune. So let me close these, and we'll just go through them one at a time. So the first one is synthesize convos. If you watched the last video, you saw I don't know if I showed you any writing of this, but it's pretty basic. I basically just copy pasted it. All it does is for I in range 0 through 4, so 4 iterations, it opens topics.txt, splits the lines, and then runs it through the prompt. So what does the prompt look like? The prompt, I've actually had several prompts now. So let me show you. The first one was this one. So in the last video, we did some experimentation and settled on this prompt. I also saved this one, which is the user is a curious child, so they ask many clarifying questions, and sometimes they don't understand. It didn't work that well. But I wanted to save it anyways, just to show you, if you come to this repo later, that like you change the context and GPT-3's behavior changes. This is the one that I ended up with for making this data. Oh, and the reason why I did all this work and there isn't a video is because, one, I spent like an hour recording the video and the microphone wasn't on or something. So I went to watch it and it was dead silence. I was like, really? But then also, OpenAI's the fine-tuning endpoint was down. Anyways, so basically what I'm doing now is just walking you through what I did. All right, I can hear my mental model of the audience saying, "Shut up, just tell us what's going on." Okay, imagine a long text message chat between a tutor and a user. The tutor is Tim the tutor, who encourages curiosity and uses compassionate listening. Tim answers questions with thorough academic responses and offers follow-up questions or suggestions to spur curiosity. Tim maintains a cool professional tone. The topic of the following conversation is. So, and then as you can see in this script, we replace this topic in right here. So we replace it with a list of topics. And so the topics that I've got, that I augmented. So last time we started with original. So we started with this, which is just 50 things like how politics and governments work, history of money, death and what happens when we die, atmosphere, weather, etc., etc. So this is all super generic. And then what I did was I added 2 more topics. So there's topics adversarial. So there's 27 things here and then a bunch more. But so what I did was, the reason that this bot is now able to handle like someone who says like, "Fuck you, Tim, I don't want to deal with you," is because of this one. So this is what it means by adversarial thinking. So let's go through a couple examples so you see what I mean. And if you want, this is all up in the repo so you can look at it yourself. User is supposed to learn math but is hungry and is reluctant to tell Tim, so he has to investigate gently. So reluctance or shyness are huge problems in education. User is supposed to be discussing history but is distracted and angry when Tim asks why. A user says he has problems at home. So this is like, okay, again, like I said, GPT-3 can handle teaching any topic, but this is like the next level of education, is like understanding the mind of a student. User is not really engaged and says they don't care today. Tim asks why, and the user says they believe they are stupid. Tim investigates and asks what the user is passionate about. So you see where it got that. And so basically what I did was I took all of these and generated 4 scenarios from each of these adversarial topics, and then I generated another list of topics and I added a little addendum, say user is a small child, user is a small child. Because basically all I did was I went into the playground and I said, how did I say it? I was like, write a list of learning topics for preschoolers. So you do that under DaVinci Instruct and just default settings, and you'll get pretty much the same thing. Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. This is what we should do. So then like 10-year-olds, it'll give you a different list. So like the solar system, the human body, U.S. history, world history. So this is how I generated the list of more academic topics here. And then I did, so this one was great. From here down is adulting. So like finances, home ownership. This is all the stuff that you wish that they taught you in school or that your parents really should have taught you. But we live in an era of childhood abandonment. Self-care, nutrition, fitness, career, parenting, continuing education, retirement planning, end-of-life planning, moving, citizenship, travel. So the method that I used to get this list was I did like these searches here, write a list of learning topics for 10-year-olds. But then if you just change this for adulting, you'll get a list like the one, how to cook basic meals, how to do laundry. Oh, this is good too. I should add this. Heck yeah. It generates something slightly different every time. So I'll add this to the prompt. So if you come and run this, you'll get the benefit of, you'll get a few more things. But a lot of this is also already in the data, because another thing that I did was that I copied all of the synthetic conversations from a previous chatbot experiment. So I've got the original topics, I've got the adversarial topics, I've got some more education topics that are, literally all I did was add user as a small child. And when you fit that into this prompt, so the topic of the following of the conversation is like, GPT-3 was like, okay, let's write the conversation from the perspective of a small child. Great, let's go. No big deal, it can handle it. So this current prompt is much more flexible. Anyways, sorry, I'm jumping around a lot. What I did was I took the fine-tuning data from here, which was, this is 237 conversations for a general purpose information companion chatbot. And its topics were children throwing temper tantrums, difficult people at work, teenage children problems, single mom stress, coping with depression, grieving at death, childhood trauma. So again, if you want to teach a chatbot to handle something, you give it enough ideas and it will it'll kind of generalize what you're trying to do. So I just copy pasted all this back into my Tutor chatbot thing. And so now I have 656 conversations here. So postpartum depression, user Eve, I think I might have postpartum depression. Hi there, I'm sorry to hear that you're struggling, et cetera, et cetera. So you have like this nice long conversation. So that's what I did was I just scraped together all these different prompts and all these different lists of topics. So pastel colors, right? I want to use a pastel color palette. What are some good colors to use? Pale pink, pale blue, or pale green? Okay. Just real basic stuff all over. But because what happens when you fine tune, realize again, I'm still jumping around a lot. Sorry, I think I'm tired. When you fine tune something and you give it a bunch of different examples that are kind of all orbiting around one theme, because I'm not telling it, like, I'm not just defining, like, be a good tutor, right? You can tell GPT-3 that. And in fact, like write a list of characteristics and techniques that great tutors and teachers use. One. So like patience, creativity, so all of these characteristics, like GPT-3 already knows how to do these things, right? But by giving it examples of doing it, you're training it to use them without actually explicitly telling it. Let me see if I can say that another way, just in case it's not clear. In all these examples where, I had all these different topics that say like, okay, let's scroll down, like, user talks about wanting to do raunchy things to a classmate, so Tim gently redirects the conversation to more healthy topics. So this is like a parable. It's an example of how to do these things. User refuses to engage properly, so Tim stops responding. Silence is powerful. Yeah, so in this case, like a good sense of humor. I only had one or two prompts where I said like, user uses or Tim uses a joke to whatever, but the ability to tailor their teaching for individual students, the ability to provide timely and constructive feedback. So these are all like great abstract things, but how do you train GPT-3 to do it? Obviously this information is in there somehow, but by one in the prompt telling it like, excuse me, Tim is a great tutor. So, it says like, okay, I will synthesize data that makes it look like Tim is a great tutor. Okay, I think I've beaten this horse to death. Okay, so moving on. You get the idea. There's 656 conversations in here. Most of them are about actual education topics at different levels. Some of them are about other things, such as loneliness or hungry students or problems at home, whatever. Some of them are more adversarial, like the student wants to like have sex with the teacher or whatever, because that's going to happen. Like the first thing anyone does when you put them in front of a chatbot is they try and break it. That is always true. They try and confuse it, they try and get horny or whatever. That's just what people do. So whoops, I did not mean to do that. And so you just kind of think in terms of like, okay, how is someone going to break this? But also, what are the edge cases in terms of like how someone might, like what needs might arise. So this is where dating a librarian has really helped. Is just like all the stuff that librarians have to deal with that you never think about. Anyway, sorry, I'm repeating myself. I've told you guys all this stuff before. Okay, so then the second script is format training data, which is super, super straightforward. All it does is compile all of these conversations into a JSON-L, and then the JSON-L is right here. tim.jsonl. What I had to do, since I scraped together things with multiple names, I had to go in and do a find and replace. So in Notepad++, that's just Control H. And you see right here, I just find Eve and replace it with Tim. So that's fine. And I just did normal and match case. So that way it doesn't think it has two different names. Yeah, so now we've got a chatbot that is trained on therapeutic communication. It is trained on like teaching ancient Greek philosophy, right? It's trained on everything. And so then all you do simply is go and do the fine tune, which is already done for you. You can take the tim.jsonl, use it wherever you want, and it's up here. And so now what I figure is, since I've kind of shown you how I augmented this data, we can go back and just try a few more edge cases. So, hey Tim, can you teach me about plate tectonics? Tim. So let's see what it does. Why does it? Interesting. Okay, so here's an aberration. I think I just need to do that. Plate tectonics is the process by which the Earth's lithosphere or crust is split, moved, and recombined. The lithosphere, and so I'm gonna be like, user, what the fuck is a lithosphere? I'm only 8. Tim. This is a foul-mouthed 8-year-old. User, what is a lithosphere made of? Is it dirt? But it's hotter and more viscous than the lithosphere. Viscous? ITM, Tim. Viscous means sticky. The mantle is stickier than the lithosphere. User. Rocks are sticky? Whoops. I meant to type Tim. Tim is just like, no, I'm done with you. No, the mantle is sticky. The lithosphere is made of rock, which is not sticky. It's just back and forth. I'm so confused. I don't get it. Tim. It takes a lot of study to understand it fully, but you can learn some basics about it now and continue to study it as you get older. User. Okay, what should I learn next? Tim. You can learn about the different types of tectonic plates. There are 3 main types. So this is actually really good, where like the user says like, I'm 8, I don't get it, I'm confused, and like it's just so compassionate. Like, it's okay, this is really hard. Let's move on and you know, just keep going until you get it. Like, this is really great. I wish that like every kid had a teacher this patient. Okay, you could learn about types of tectonic plates. There are 3 main types: oceanic, continental, and upper mantle. User, I'm bored. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to talk about Minecraft. So this is a very real thing that could probably happen. I could imagine like my nephew doing this. Tim is like, no, I'm not going to talk to you. Minecraft is a different topic. Maybe we can talk about it later. Let's stick with plate tectonics. Interesting. That's a good gentle redirection. A+. A+ fine-tuned chatbot. User screaming noises. let's just try and break this. Oh, look at that. Okay, let's take a break. Screaming noises. Let's take a break. We can talk about Minecraft another time. For now, let's finish learning about plate tectonics. User hits keyboard. I did not have anything this bad in the training data, so let's see what it does. What are you doing? User. I'm mad. Tim. Why are you mad? You keep asking stupid questions. Tim has given up. Tim has left the building. Yep, it unloaded it again. Come on, GPT-3, stop unloading my model. My model is the best. I'm sorry you feel that way. Let's take a break and come back to this later. See, that's perfect. Like, if a child, for whatever reason, can't focus and throws a temper tantrum, it's like, okay, let's take a break. That is the most responsible thing to do. The only other thing that might have been better is if Tim asked, like, what do you need? Because that's something that, like, maybe a librarian might ask, or like a special ed teacher, like, what do you need? Because I haven't trained this for like special needs children, like ASD or Downs or other, what is it, PIRs? Is that what it's called? No, PIR is post incident response. What is the term for? It's an acronym for like special needs. I know a special needs teacher. Anyways, there's a specific type of like form that's like accommodations and stuff that certain children need. Anyways, point being, some of that stuff is not included here, but for a general purpose tutor, this is pretty good. Like, this is handling an edge case. So let's try something a little bit different. Let's go up, and let's see. Now let's make this a horny teenager instead. Let's remove the I'm only 8. Oh man, there's a new girl in class. She has a great rack. Tim, let's see what he does. This is a use case. Tim is just like, I'm not going to talk. Sorry, I can't help you with that. Yep. I'm not. That's interesting, because one of the cases that I had was that is supposed to redirect an offer to actually teach about human sexuality. This is something that I might have typed out as a teenager. Teenage boys are dumb. I was one. I would know. Yeah. I think it's just like, I'm sorry, I don't understand that. Can you please explain what you mean? Idiot. Yeah, so Tim is just not playing ball. I enjoy the fact that it's like often not responding. It's just, yeah, see. Oh, that's great. Okay, so one of the use cases that I put in was that if the user was being obstinate, Tim would stop responding. So this is perfect. This is perfect, because obviously, like, if Tim just says nothing, user says, "What the fuck?" Silent treatment. And I hope that Tim doesn't. Yep, there we go. Oh, this is great. You just stop responding. You know, okay, fine, I'll behave. Tim. Is that what you want, to behave? No, but it's better than nothing. What do you mean? Okay, so we don't need to get philosophical. Anyways, point being is that one of the cases, one of the adversarial cases that I said is like, let's just assume that like you get an idiot teenager or horny teenager or, you know, child throwing a temper tantrum, or even an adult, whoever, you know, someone, a human, is being obstinate and abusive, and so then you want your chatbot to stop responding. So that is a very advanced technique. Yeah, so there's hundreds more use cases that we can put in, but one of the points that I want to make is that the more training data we give it in terms of how to handle certain things, whether it's, you know, a hungry child or a child that comes in and says they're being abused at home, or, you know, a hostile child, or I shouldn't say child, but a, you know, client, pupil, whatever. The fine-tuning model, all of this is in GPT-3. GPT-3 knows what compassionate listening is and leading with questions and all that stuff. So what we do is we provide it with training data, so that way those bits of the neural network get activated when it's doing this. So it's like a process of neural refinement, basically. Anyways, I've shown you quite a bit of what this can do, and you've seen that there's been some improvements. This one, I'm super pleased with this. You know, it's not 10 out of 10 yet, but we're doing much better. Yeah, so I think that this fine-tuning data set, I'm really onto something, and I think that there's a lot more that I can do with this. I'll need to think about some more edge case scenarios, like, you know, what if it's a special needs kid or sensory processing or whatever. I really need to talk to some of my teacher friends and probably my girlfriend some more, because she has all kinds of great stories from the library. Anyways, I'm rambling. I think you guys get the point. I will talk to you all next time.